to Ideas All Day, a podcast where we, not experts, make ideas and place them into piles, such as the good ideas pile, the bad ideas pile, and the ideas pile. And now let's see who we are. The talent, Alex.
That's me.
The thorough idea planner, Kate.
Sure.
And the person that says the first thing that pops into her head, me, Ajax. Greetings.
Hi.
Salutations.
This week, we are going to be discussing socially distant activities that you can do with your friends.
Alex, why don't you give us your ideas for socially distant social interactions?
Yeah, I guess I could do that. Since I'm here anyways. All right. My first idea, I think this one kind of came up with something Kate had said outside of the podcast. And I thought, and it came to mind, but I was thinking about a fan fiction pass around that you can do with your friends, where you pick a topic, your person writes a line, and then they pass the notebook around, or they send an email out with it. And then you keep going around to person until you have a full-fledged fan fiction about all of your favorite sparkly vampires or various other characters that get introduced into it. Not only is it a social activity, but it's activity about creativity. For my second one, plays it a little on that, and it's actually an old idea, but let's bring back pen pals. Whatever happened to the old idea of pen pals, where you write an actual physical letter to somebody that you don't know, and you meet them via a newspaper ads that they used to have, those personnel ones that you could have, and you just write just normal things. It doesn't have to be weird, Kate.
Look at Kate too. What? How did you make this weird?
No, I'm just assuming she would. That's all.
If anyone can make pen pals weird, it's me.
Okay, good.
And not only that, but I also want to make, as a caveat to this, to bring back chess by mail. I want to have chess by mail again, where you have to wait weeks in order for your person to make a move, then you send another one out, where it would take like an entire year to play a game. Where
This was a thing before?
Patience. Yes, it's a thing. And we need to bring things back from the past. And preferably, you're sending all of your letters to your pen pal via carrier pigeon. But that is not necessary. That is just, it's an ask, but it's not a requirement. Now, for my third idea, I was thinking about where you have you and your friends on Zoom have a dinner party. But the caveat is everyone is cooking the same dish at the same time. So not only are you eating together, you're cooking together, you're making the same thing, so you all experience it together. You could treat it like a cooking class. You could treat it as just like, hey, we're going to make some comfort food, or we're going to make a pizza together, but we're going to make it from scratch, something like that. So not only it's a group activity, but you're doing it from step one all the way to the end. And obviously, wine is required, whatever it is you're making, even if it's cereal.
Oh, if I'm cooking, whining will be there.
And probably whining.
That's what I was going with.
Whining and whining.
That's what
whining,
that was whining.
Dining, and more whining.
And whining some more, yes.
Now for my fourth idea. Takes a little bit more of a specialized equipment, but we need to have, and I know there's things out here for this, but we need to have virtual reality meetups. Obviously, you could do Zooms, you can do certain things, but you don't have that face-to-face connection, where nowadays you can have a face-to-face with your friends as an anime girl in 3D. And who doesn't want to do that?
Do you want to be the girl in the anime girl?
Sometimes not. It really doesn't matter. You know, the real thing is that you can express yourself in a way that you feel is, appropriate for you. And you're still doing it to a degree face-to-face with the friends that you want to spend time with, where you can't do it right now. Hey, let's say you don't have special equipment. Let's say you don't even have a computer, but you still want to have social interaction in a close proximity, but you can't do it anymore in real life. But let's say you're a crafty person. Let's say you know how to sew. Let's say you know how to make things. So what I'm proposing is you need to make or have replica dolls or stuffed animals that can talk, similar to the old Teddy Ruxpins. And you just have your friends record messages or conversations that you can play all together. So it's like having like an actual like conversation with a group of people. And eventually, once you do this enough times, they will most likely come to life and try and murder you because they've been possessed by the devil or something. But initially, it will be totally not weird or creepy because you're still with your friends. It's really them.
Wait, are you making the Teddy Ruxpin? Are the people making the Teddy Ruxpin?
Well, I mean, you could make it where you're making your own. You can make. I would assume you want to make other people's, but they would record their voices for the recordings. So they're involved with this. They know what you're doing, or you're recording them without their permission. Whatever you want to do. But I'm just saying, it's just a way to have them feel like they're there with you again. That's all. Now, last, but ever so certainly not least, is I propose having a game show or recreating a game show with your friends, a specific game show, one that involves an activity that even during COVID times you can do, and that would be recreating Supermarket Sweep with your friends, where each of you is going to go to the grocery store at maybe a different time, maybe the same time, doesn't matter. Someone sets a timer, and then you basically have to bolt through the grocery store and try and buy as much as you can in that short period of time. And then when all is said and done, you got to find out who spent the most with one cart in that period of time. And this is perfect time because at the time of this recording, the third stimulus package is about to go out in the US. So everyone's going to have some extra money to be able to spend on themselves and support the economy, which is really what it's meant to do, and have fun while they're doing it.
Are you going to do an episode of what you're buying with your stimulus money?
That might be an idea. How to spend your stimulus.
All right. Next week.
That's all of my ideas.
Thanks, Alex.
That was lovely.
I'm going to go first.
Lovely.
Idea number 1, fan fiction pass around. So I really want to put this in the good ideas pile, but I can see being super frustrated if I did a fan fiction pass around with you two. Because I would be like, oh, I could see this fan fiction going in this direction, and so touched so-and-so's hands and looked lovely into their eyes, and then Alex would be like, and she farted with such a force that the prince was thrown back into a brick wall and died. It's like,
no, he was thrown back and launched into the air, and he landed in the wall-mounted papoose on the other side of the room.
I could only be awoken by true love's kiss. So I'm going to put this in the good ideas pile with the caveat that you have to pick your pass around pals strategically.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. You fine.
Yeah, I didn't hear the caveat. I just heard good idea, so I'm just going to keep it there.
Pen pals was your second idea. This is a good idea, especially if you want to get prison pen pals. That's always interesting. With your secondary idea, chess by mail, I'm going to put this in the ideas pile because I do not have patience. But I feel like with the whole Queen's Gambit that just was recently out on Netflix and everybody like flaunted over that, there would be a lot of people who would be interested in playing chess. So it's an idea. I can see it being something to look forward to, like, oh, I can't wait till the next move comes in. And, you're strategizing, figuring out everything, and then piece of mail comes and it's like, E4, okay. And then writing it back and all that fun shit. So yeah, I'm going to put it as an idea. The only reason it's not a good idea is that it's via mail and I'm impatient. And with the internet, you can play strangers online all the time.
Is that a game? I've never heard of it.
I'm playing Strangers Online today.
No, chess. You can play chess online with strangers.
Oh.
Lots of strangers.
Strangers are scary.
Stranger danger.
That's pen pals for you.
Yeah, but they're not. It's not online. It's via mail. It's totally different.
That's totally They don't
There's
know
no
where,
address involved. It's
you're-
a different type of address.
yeah, the strangers you meet online don't know where you live, whereas your pen pal now knows where you live.
Your random pen pal.
Who's in prison, apparently, according to you.
Prison pen pals, let's do it. Your third idea, Zoom dinner party. You had me going with the whole Zoom dinner party, like eating a meal with your friends, and then you lost me with the cooking aspect. So that's going to go in the ideas pile, leaning towards bad. I have a lot of indecisive friends. I have a lot of friends who have different dietary requirements. It would be hard to find a meal that we could all enjoy and that could all make.
Chicken fingers.
I couldn't do chicken fingers now, could I?
Chicken fingers.
I can't.
Chicken fingers.
I can't do the
Chicken fingers. You can do chicken fingers.
Not gonna do it.
Chicken fingers.
So ideas.
Everybody likes chicken fingers.
For your fourth idea, VR meetups. This is basically just like any online gaming, if you think about it.
No. You
Like,
need the
it'd be
VR
like-
component. VR component
It'd be
is
like
necessary.
Second Life.
You need
wouldn't
the
it?
eyeglasses.
Okay.
God, it's like I'm right there and you're there. And you look different, but it's you.
But you're there.
But you're
All right,
there.
I'll give this an idea leaning towards good. The only reason it's not a good idea is that I can see it be cumbersome to have all of your friends get all this VR, yeah. All of your friends get that RV equipment and go to camp and get all the VR. Wait,
It's the wrong memo when you get the
Yeah.
RV equipment.
Okay, so what do? I got the trailer, I got the hitch on my car. Like, where are we going, guys? Why did you give me a website? I don't understand. Ideas leaning towards good just because all of your friends would have to have all the same equipment, and that can get cumbersome if it's an expensive product.
No, it's not. Don't worry.
Number 5, talking dolls. Immediately, bad ideas pile.
What?
This is just creepy. It's
How
just,
dare you?
it's just super creepy.
No, it's not. It's ingenious.
creepy.
When we grew up, we had Teddy Ruxpin's telling us stories. Now this is our friends in a doll form telling us stories.
No. I
Better
do
on a
not-
cassette tape.
Yeah.
I do own a cassette tape.
Or stream their voices in. If you could figure out a way to do that.
a
So, and their
Bluetooth.
mouths
Why do
move
I
when they
know-
talk.
Bluetooth technology, you can
Yeah.
do an audio recording on your phone. But no,
Ooh.
bad idea. As I'm making it better for you, it's still a bad idea. I do not want doll versions of my friends scattered around my apartment. Be like, oh, I'm lonely. Let me play Ajax. Okay,
Oh, hello. Hi, Kate.
let's go to the mall. Like, I don't want
Let's watch Ryan Reynolds.
and take a nap. Oh.
Aw.
No, I don't need creepy doll that's like some serial killer shit. I don't want creepy doll versions of my friends and family. Bad idea. Number 6, game show with friends, supermarket sweep. I'm gonna put this in the ideas pile leaning towards bad because I enjoy shopping generally. I do not enjoy supermarket shopping. Like, I hate shopping for food. I hate going to the grocery store. And then on top of all that, you put a time restraint on me. My road rage in the supermarket would be insane. There would be bodies everywhere. The robot would be following me, cleaning up all the debris I've left behind from the people I've gone through. The only reason I'm not putting it as a bad idea is I can see other people who would be able to enjoy this and would possibly like it. Me, this is a level of anxiety I don't need in my life.
All I'm gonna say is it also gives you the opportunity to buy those really big jars of mayonnaise that they always buy in supermarket sweep that I never understood why.
Isn't it the goal to buy as many things to spend the most money?
Exactly. That's the whole point
Yeah.
of this, what we're talking about.
I mean,
You gotta
spend the
compare
most
receipts.
mayonnaise. That's one way to do it.
And then you get one of those big cans of tuna too, and then you make a really big tuna salad.
See, you're like
Mm.
hitting everything that I absolutely hate. I don't like mayo. I don't like tuna.
We can get noodles instead. Make tuna noodle casserole.
No.
No.
So
Casserole.
ideas towards bad.
Chicken fingers. I want chicken fingers.
And those are my pilings.
Those are Kate's pilings.
Chicken fingers.
Oh, so here are my pilings for Alex and his chicken fingers. So your fan fiction pass around. I mean, I feel like we did it. We don't even have to write it down. We kind of did it. We just made up a story earlier. It was a fanfic. Do we have to write it down?
Well, you got to publish it. Otherwise, it's not a fan fiction.
Who's going to write it? If it was us, who's going to write it?
All of us are writing it. You're literally writing it one line at a time. Each person, you're just passing it around to the next person.
Via email.
I don't want any more emails.
Or you could remote access each other's one computer on a Word document.
Okay, so I'm going to put this in the ideas pile just because I rather just say it rather than writing it down. I feel like that extra step is a lot of work, especially for a story that's just, if it's us doing it, a story that's going to have so many twists and turns.
Well, here's to defend writing it down. Whatever us three would come up with would be so ridiculous. But by the time we were done, you would have forgotten all the funny parts. So if it's written down, you could always reread it and be like, oh my God, that was so hilarious. I can't believe she farted again on the prince's face.
Again.
Over and over again.
Okay, so I mean, it could be a good idea. It could be a bad idea. I'm just going to put it on the ideas pile. Right now, fluctuating towards good, but it's fluctuating all the time, depending on how I'm feeling about writing at the moment. That's my piling for that one. Pen pals. Nah, I won't do the pen pal myself, but somebody else might do it. So I'll put in the ideas pile. I'm sorry. I would probably just sit there. It's like usually like, hey, how are you? Fine. How are you? Good. It'd be a good conversation eventually. Maybe. Probably not. Ideas pile for pen pals. Zoom dinner party. I thought this was a good idea. Where we whine and then we complain and then we whine some more and then we eat in there. It's all good. Yeah, it's a good idea. Who doesn't like eating?
And chicken fingers.
Chicken fingers are delicious. I'll have them during the Zoom dinner party. And then like if we're like all cooking together, then it's like, oh man, I cracked my egg and it fell on the floor. You're like, I didn't do it. And look, my egg's better than yours. So it could add into interesting conversation about cooking that you usually don't get when you're cooking.
And by the time you're halfway through and you've made it through your first bottle of wine, you won't even know what you're cooking anymore. You'll just be having a good time.
Exactly. So I put that in the good idea pile. The virtual reality meetup. You know what? I'll put this in the good idea pile too, because I've never tried virtual reality and can't knock it till you try it. And then, all right, so your next idea of the replica dolls. I put this directly in the bad idea pile. I just thought it was a lot of work. I mean, I don't have a cassette tape player, so I have to order one of those, and I got to figure out how to make the eyes and the jaw move together, synchronized. I'm not that crafty.
But you can learn. It will be a learning experience for everybody.
Well, I'm still putting this in the bad idea pile.
Boo.
For your game show supermarket sweep, I thought this is a fabulous idea, and this is going great in the good ideas pile. And I'm going to go directly to the pharmacy. That's my goal for that one.
Oh, geez.
Kids, don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs, but they are small and pricey.
Even the
so
vitamins.
That's my strategy for the supermarket sweep.
Vitamins tend to be expensive too.
Yeah. And you put a lot of those in your cart. And you can just go and like just sweep them into your basket.
They don't expire quickly either. They usually have like a 3 to 5 year shelf life.
And then anybody can use vitamins. If you don't get them yourself, be like, would you like some vitamins? And be like, why, thank you. I need some minerals in my body.
Could you wear a trench coat and have the vitamins lined on the inside of the coat and then just go to like schools and ask kids if they want vitamins?
Yes. And I can even have on the other side of the coat, like the DARE chart that had like the picture of the drug and the picture of the candy that looked like the drug too. So that could be educational as well. Because that's the one thing of DARE that I remembered was the pill to the candy look-alike chart. But yeah, those are my pilings.
I will also let you know I did find an instruction on how to convert an old Teddy Ruxpin into a Bluetooth version.
Where would you buy a Teddy Ruxpin?
Apparently eBay.
How expensive are the Teddy Ruxpins?
According to this dude, about $40, which is really surprising. I would think it would be more.
Yeah, no, I thought they were like a collector's item. Every time you say Teddy Ruxpin, I can only think of Howie Mandel in this one movie, Walk Like a Man, where he accidentally steals a Teddy Ruxpin and gives it to a little girl. And I remember being a kid and be like, oh, I wish I was that little girl who got that Teddy Ruxpin. I never got the Teddy Ruxpin.
Honestly, I'm looking up Teddy Ruxpins right now. Not that expensive. Just saying it's possible.
Listeners, if any of you convert your old Teddy Ruxpin into a Bluetooth Teddy Ruxpin, please share those photos at our Instagram at Ideas All Day Podcast.
Yes, please. Okay. Well, thank you, Alex, for your ideas.
Well, no, thank you for your pilings.
Let me go over some of my ideas.
Oh, good.
My first idea came about because I wanted to see my parents during the pandemic, and we had to be safe about it. And near my parents is a park. So at first we were going to the park and staying 6 feet away from each other and having conversations. And it was nice just to be able to be outside and seeing my parents. And then we kind of got my brother to come to the park. And then we realized that brother had a big backyard at his house. So then we just started going to his big backyard. So outdoor hangouts, as long as you keep the appropriate distance, you can safely hang, so to speak. As it got colder, we started having fires, which is like one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, outdoor socially distant hangouts, idea number 1. Idea number 2, friends of mine requested that I download this app called Hangout. And Hangout has these games you can play with your friends, which is it's fun, it's nice, but it made me think about a different game type that's out there, and it's called Jackbox Games.
Mm-hmm.
Just to let the listeners know, we're not sponsored by Jackbox Games, but Jackbox Games is a online game through a gaming platform. I think you can get it on Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, and you can play with people in person, or you can give people a code and they can play from their phones from elsewhere. And they have a litany of games you can play, and it is so much fun. When Alex came to visit me, a couple of years ago, me and my roommates made him play, and we were crying, laughing. We were having so much fun playing those games. So idea number 2, like internet games you can play with your friends from distances. Number 3, Alex kind of stole my thunder. Instead of pen pals, I was thinking about just doing, letter writing to your friends or family, just being like, hey, feel like keeping the postal service busy, here's a letter. Here's a little drawing of a cat I made. Enjoy. So letter writing. Idea number 4, when pandemic first hit and we realized this wasn't going to be something that was going to end anytime soon, me, Ajax, and Alex came up with the idea, based off of Comedy Central's Drunk History, that we were going to do our own version of Drunk History, where we would have a few adult beverages and do history reports on topics that we were interested in. And it gave us like a reason to stay in touch every week, because it was like, oh, my report's due. I have to be there. I can't not be there to present my drunk history on Lizzie Borden. I have to be there. Who else is going to talk about Lizzie Borden if I'm not there to talk about Lizzie Borden?
Yeah, or Ozzy and Sharon's relationship.
Yeah.
That drunk history I was coerced into doing, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it was. It was a drunk history. You had to do it.
I had to do it because of a previous drunk history. I mentioned something, and I was the last one to go not it. Mm-hmm. But it was a lot of fun. We're still doing it, and it's just something to look forward to at the end of the week. And it's a lot easier than coming up with something to talk about every time you check in with someone, because that's the hard part of talking to someone often is hi, anything new? No. Yeah, quarantine sucks. How are you doing with quarantine? Oh, you started knitting? That's great. I started harvesting plastic bags for Plarn. Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's about it. Okay. So this way we had a reason to communicating, and It's been great. Like, I have no complaints. It's definitely made me feel less lonely, and it gives me something to do after work instead of sitting in front of my TV and just be a blob. So drunk history was number 4. And on the same lines as that, number 5, starting a podcast.
I knew that was coming.
Because this podcast was born from basically a little bit of drunk history, and yeah, we could totally do a podcast. Sure, why can't we do a podcast? You know what's a great idea? Ideas. We should talk about our ideas. Originally, it was just going to be me and Ajax. I'm like, we need someone else. We definitely need someone else. And it was like Alex. Alex was the puzzle piece that we needed to bring in. Otherwise, it would just be me and Ajax going, yeah, no, great idea. Oh, that's a great idea. I would have thought of that.
I know.
Great
It'd be
idea.
over great ideas. That'd be
Like,
just
oh my
great
God,
ideas
we're
all
so
day.
awesome. We need someone to bring in some bad ideas. So here's Alex in his psychotic Teddy Ruxpin rebuild. So those were my ideas.
Thanks, Kate. I believe it's my turn.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess. Sure, why not? Whatever.
All right. Well, for your first idea, Kate, outdoor hangouts. If you can hang out outside and there's less of a chance to catch a COVID, then I feel like that's a good idea. It's going to go in the good ideas pile. Go be outside. It's where all the cool kids are. Idea number 2, Jackbox game or just internet games in general. I'll also put that in the good idea pile because internet games can be fun.
Have you ever played the Jackbox games?
They had a lot of different types of games.
Yes.
They were fun. Oh, yes. You can draw different things. And you had to guess what the drawing was on a t-shirt or something.
Yes.
There was like design your own t-shirt type of game.
Yes. My God.
Yeah. That was
one of my
fun.
favorites.
It was hilarious.
Okay. To go off of that, there are some podcasters who do live videos of them doing Jackbox games, so then you can join their games.
Oh.
So I've been doing that a lot recently, even though they're not people I know.
You've been hanging out with some Jackbox games peoples on podcasts?
Not on podcasts, on YouTubes.
Nice. All right, so that was a good idea.
Thank you.
Letter writing. At first, I was going to put this in the ideas pile until you said, making cat drawings and sending them to your friends. Then I put it in the good ideas pile because I don't mind drawing cats.
Yeah, who doesn't like cats?
I don't know. I mean, that's one of the animals I can draw. I could do like the head and the ears. For your fourth idea of drunk history, of course I'm putting this in the good ideas pile. I love drunk history. How often do you get to learn a new historical topic? Oh, wait, every week? Oh, wait, 2 historical topics? It's educational. We get to be not thirsty for a while. I get to hang out with you 2, which is always questionable sometimes. But, questions are, it's also a game of life. There's lots of questions in this world, and we have a lot of them. And so we answer them through drunk history, and it's the best. So that's like best ideas pile. And then for the 5th idea, podcast. Hey, look, we're still doing it.
We're still doing it.
We're still doing it and doing it well. I mean, I don't know how well. It'd be interesting to see how we started and how we are now. That would be an interesting evaluation, almost close to a year later.
Well, if someone were to listen to the episodes,
Kate. Yeah, I agree, Kate. Jeez.
I can't listen to them for you. You know that, right?
So I'll put this in the ideas pile, leaning towards good.
I accept that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I guess it's my turn now. For your first idea of outdoor hangouts, I put this in the ideas pile going towards bad because anything dealing with the outdoors and the sun is going really bad. I mean, I'm not putting it in the bad ideas pile because you do get to see, like you put, you get to see your family, you get to see friends, but outdoors is dangerous. There's the sun, which causes cancer. There's wild animals that can just maim and injure you. You could trip and fall and hurt yourself. God forbid, there could be people out there with COVID. You don't even know. So no thank you, but I understand, but no thank you. I'll stay in my little bubble and be healthy and isolated with my my Teddy Ruxpin dolls in a circle talking to me. All right, for your next idea of utilizing internet games / Jackbox games, that's a good idea for me. Again, staying indoors, playing some games, everyone's having fun, drawing penises, nothing bad happening. I'm all for it.
We did draw a lot of organs in the shirt game or logo game or
really any of the drawing games.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Once again, you want to choose people on the same wavelength as you. Because I don't think my roommates at the time appreciated the amount of penises and vaginas we drew. Whereas me and you had no problem with that.
I don't know. They participated in the penis drawing game.
That's what it's called.
They did.
It's now called the penis drawing game.
It's called the penis drawing game.
The jack-off box game.
They should rebrand themselves as such.
So more accurate.
Now, for your third idea of letter writing, I think you called it. Yeah, that's going in the bad ideas pile. One, because it's a ripoff of my idea, of course. I mean, why did you even bring it up? Number two, not enough prisoners in your thing. Number three, now there's drawings involved. This is supposed to be letter writing, not letter drawing.
You
Doesn't
obviously
make sense.
don't know my circle of friends and my family if you don't think there's any prisoners writing. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, in your idea it wasn't mentioned, and all you brought up was drawing cats, which I don't approve of.
How do you not approve of drawing cats?
No beastie.
Well, they're not
Drawing
sexy
a cat
cats.
doesn't mean you're going to do anything with the cat. That's like drawing penises. Are you going to do things with those penises, Alex?
Yes.
I wasn't planning on doing anything with the penis. Not the drawing. Not the ones drawn.
All right. For your next idea of drunk history, of course, is going in the good ideas pile because there's learning, more importantly, drinking.
Just listeners, remember to drink responsibly.
And safely at home. You know,
and let's all just be shocked that Alex called that a good idea, and he said it was associated with learning because learning is usually the
for
worst.
Nerds.
It's for nerds. So like this is a momentous 360. This is a 360.
No,
this is a complete 360 from Alex. It's 180. But I wanted to go all the way around.
These you can pick whatever topic you want. It's not like when you go to school or read a book. They're kind of like forcing you to learn certain things. You can pick whatever topic you want. Like what I did recently that I really enjoyed was the origin of Cheetos. I mean, who doesn't love that?
It's true.
So come on.
This is where we found out bananas are the devil.
And they're radioactive, by the way.
Not surprised.
I take radiation training, and one of the things they talk about is bananas are radioactive. So just so you know that, when you're eating your bananas in the morning, you're ingesting radioactive material.
How much?
Very trace amounts, and it has no effect on you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's lame.
But it's there.
Fun. Like, how many bananas does it take before I develop superpowers? That's what I
good question.
Infinite.
So I would have to like have an IV just pumping my body with bananas constantly.
Constant banana stream.
Thick banana goo. Just
like a caulk gun.
Yes, pretty much. So yeah.
It's going to sound beautiful.
You'll die of other types of poisonings before any side effects of the radiation. All right. And your last idea of starting a podcast, instantly going into the bad ideas pile because we don't need competition here.
See,
all right? People can listen to a podcast and talk about it with their friends, but starting a podcast to compete with ours, I don't think so.
I don't think competition. There's room for everybody.
Who's the podcast judge?
The audience. The listenership is the podcast judge.
Yes.
Podcast judge.
And guess what? We don't need competition. Bad ideas pile. I have spoken, so it shall be.
Wow, the talent is so picky this season.
Jeez. No, seriously.
Yeah. Someone didn't separate the colors in my trailer of different M&Ms and such.
You even got a trailer?
My green M&Ms and my yellow M&Ms and blue M&Ms were all touching each other, and I almost had a breakdown.
You broke down in your trailer.
Do you remember when there was 2 brown M&Ms?
Yeah, I like the lighter brown better.
Yeah, and then they got rid of it, and then they got the blue, and it was a big contest. people had to pick the next,
The next
color.
flavor. It was blue.
Your name was
Yep.
blue.
I remember
I
those
chose
days.
blue too, but I like the light brown ones. They were my favorite until blue.
I told them
Yep.
not to change it. I like the tan ones.
I like the lime flavored ones the best.
Skittles, yes.
No, of the M&Ms.
They all taste the same.
Taste the rainbow.
Taste the rainbow.
Wrong candy.
But it feels so right.
It's so wrong.
Oh, so right.
That's all I got.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate
Yeah.
your pilings. That did not sound sincere at all, but I do mean it. Thanks, Alex, for
Chicken
your
fingers.
pilings.
Give me some chicken fingers.
No, I can't have chicken fingers.
I'll eat them.
You can have the chicken fingers.
I'll have them. If there's a plethora of chicken fingers, I will help out with.
So I'll
Well,
be
then-
without chicken fingers. So you'll all be eating your chicken fingers, and I'll be sitting there like, oh, guess I'm not having chicken fingers.
You can have soy ones.
Yeah, soy's not that good for you, though. Especially super processed soy is super bad for you. Ajax, why don't you give us your ideas?
All right. So my ideas involve, first one, putting on a musical with your friends. You can do this via Zoom, or you can do this by just taking videos of yourself and your friends and then splicing them together into a musical number, which could be kind of interesting. I like musicals. I don't know if people really want to hear me sing, but I mean, I like singing. So that's my first idea, putting on a musical with your friends. My second idea is where you have the telephone tin cans, where you have the tin cans connected by a string. And then you've got one can on one side, your friend has the can on the other side of possibly another house. You're not leaving your house. You're not really mixing germs there. Your germs are in your can. And I don't think they crawl down the string to the other can. So you can talk with your friends via cans. That's my second idea. My third idea is to play catch. I love playing catch. And as long as you wash your hands after you catch the balls in the end, that's what she said, then you should be safe. Just don't stick your fingers in your face or your eye holes while you're playing catch. That's my third idea. My fourth idea was geocaching. If you've never done geocaching before, it's sort of this treasure hunt game that's worldwide, and people hide little treasures or caches, and you must find them using GPS units. And it's a really fun activity outside that you can do by yourself or with friends that while you're outside can stay pretty far away from each other. So geocaching. My next idea, just avoid the pandemic altogether and move to an island with your friends, self-sustaining island, and live in a Swiss Family Robinson house, because that is the coolest house you could possibly ever get. And if you're on an island, you can't catch COVID if nobody else is there. You know who's in your circle. So that's my idea, moving to an island and having a really cool Swiss Family Robinson house. My next idea is dance party via Zoom. I used to do this earlier on in pandemic and just hang out with my friends and put music on, and we all just danced together. And it was a good time. Build some cardio, build some fun, move about. Yeah, online dance parties. My next idea is to become more introverted. Then you don't need to necessarily hang out with anybody anymore. You don't really need to have any social interactions, and you can have fun just by yourself. You can be your friend. And I'm just going to go two more, which is you can hang out with your friends, but in Star Wars suits with your own individual air bottles that are attached to your Star Wars suits. You can dress up like stormtroopers, not Starship Troopers. That's a different movie. Plus, their faces were not covered in Starship Troopers. In Star Wars, stormtroopers have nice face coverings. So I feel like it'd be really fun to hang out with your friends in stormtrooper costumes. If you don't want to be a stormtrooper, you can be any old large animal, like a mascot costume, and hang out with the other friends. And you can take really cute selfies as well, hanging out in costumes with friends. And my last idea is to go back in time or an alternate dimension where COVID doesn't exist. Those are my ideas.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alex, why don't you break down the ideas first?
So I'd be happy to start the piling. So with your first idea, putting on a musical, I'm going to put this in the ideas pile only because I don't know what musical you're putting on.
Ooh.
See, depending on the musical, I might put it into a better pile, might put it into a worse pile. Like if you said, "Oh, I'm going to do a musical on the movie of Cats," I would put it in the bad ideas pile because that thing's a nightmare fuel. Versus like Sweeney Todd, which is always one of my favorites.
That's not nightmare fuel.
No, because I like the music in that. I think it's dark.
It's literally a nightmare.
It's a different type of nightmare fuel.
Yeah, but but you know what you're getting into it versus like it's nightmare fuel keeps you out like I'm not worried about the Barber of Seville coming after me versus human-faced cats. Again, unless I have more information, I'm just gonna put the ideas pile because it's not bad, but I just can't bring myself up to it. All right, so for your next idea of the tin can telephone, immediately going into the bad ideas pile because it's dangerous for multiple reasons. Number one, the tin cans themselves. What if they're rusted? Guess what? Yeah, it's a tetanus danger right there. All of a sudden, you got a plethora of people with lockjaw. Two, the strings. One, you got to make sure they're safely attached between houses or places in the house to make sure they're not touching any electrical wires. God forbid you're actually touching electro. Boom! Both sides shocked, dead. Number three, I mean, you said, "Oh, you're standing away with no COVID." Wrong. Because guess what? As you're talking into the cup, but the string knob's there. So the spit comes out of your mouth, touches the string knob, and then it slowly saturates the string after hours of conversation. And then the COVID particles travel down the thing into the other person's mouth. Boom, you both got COVID. It is a recipe for disaster, is all I'm saying. Not even that. We're not even bringing in the wildlife complications. God forbid a squirrel tries to jump on it. All of a sudden, he has no, boom, hits the ground, dead squirrel. Do you really want to have a dead squirrel on your hands? I don't think you do.
Wait, how did the squirrel die?
Because he thought it was like a tree limb when he was jumping through the trees, and all of a sudden, he jumps on the string thinking it's taut. It's not, because it's just held up by two people holding on a bunch of cans that are all rusty, getting them tetanus. That's why it's going immediately into the bad ideas pile. I mean, I don't even know. I'm going to bury this next to the shot collars. That's how bad these are.
Collars?
That is so needs to be buried.
I expect nothing less from you.
I'm glad I'm meeting your expectations. Now to your third idea, playing catch. Obviously, bad idea. Means going out, means physical activity. I'm a sloth. You know that's not going to happen. There's sports involved. This is all sorts of bad. And not even going to bring the safety issues into this. The amount of eyes that will be poked out or lost in this whole endeavor.
How bad are your hands?
What kind of balls are you using?
The ones that shoot your eye out.
Are you playing catch with lawn darts?
Maybe. You didn't say what you were playing catch with. You didn't say it was a baseball. You didn't say a tennis ball.
Could have been that. Could have been that.
Could have been a squirrel. All of a sudden, you got a flying squirrel at your face.
Those are
scratching
real.
your eyes out. And he's dead because he couldn't hold on to the string from the tin can that gave you tetanus.
And he was rabid.
And
now
COVID.
you got rabies.
So we're playing catch with the dead flying squirrel.
This sounds like the fanfic, by the way.
Exactly. So again, bad idea. I don't even know why you even brought this up.
Oh, you know why.
Yeah, you just like dead squirrels.
Sclerophiliac. Sciridae?
All right, I'll move on. For your fourth idea, geocaching. Love it. Treasure hunts are awesome. Immediately good ideas. But I wish I knew how to get into this because it sounds like such a fun idea. So geocaching, 100% good idea. Number 5, living on an island with your friends. What are you doing? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to put this in the bad ideas pile. I'm going to put this in the ideas pile going towards bad. And because one, living on an island seems kind of nice. It's tropical. It's sandy. There's lots of sun. But it may not be too bad. But then again, you have no creature comforts. You have to start from scratch. So you have to build your own house. Do you know how to do that? I don't. You know, hopefully somebody knows
Stanley
you.
Robinson. I want
Yeah,
that.
but you got to figure out how to do it.
Unless somebody already did it already and just buy it.
Yeah, that's fine. If the living situation, everything is already there, ready to go, sure, why not? But is this really just a cry for help that you're actually trying to join that cult that Jared Leto started? That he was on because him and his followers were on an island during COVID. I'm just saying, seems pretty odd that you're bringing this up.
You know, I got things for cults.
Exactly.
If anyone's joining a cult out of the three of us, it's Ajax.
Definitely.
It would be.
I'm honestly surprised she hasn't already.
I have my own cult that I participate in. I mean, just one so far.
So far,
yeah. But its idea is going towards bad only because of your Jared Leto cult obsession.
Fine.
All right. Your Zoom dance party. I mean, I could put this in the good ideas pile. It's not bad. It's not my cup of tea, but I can definitely see where people will like it. It's fun. There's music. There's people around. You look a little silly, but you know what? I can get behind looking a little silly once in a while. So I'm going to put that one in the good ideas pile.
Yeah.
Number 7, become more introverted. 100% agree. 100%. Don't even have to question it. Get into your shell, get inside your own head, don't talk to people, and then just get energized by being by yourself. Actually, having interactions with other people is draining. That's what you need to survive nowadays. So 100% agree. You got to become more introverted.
Nice.
Now on to your next one. Star Wars suits and stuff. I don't know how to feel about this, so I'm going to put in the ideas pile. I would love to go to Comic-Con one day or a convention that involves like that, but I don't know how I would feel about wearing them. I'm not that into Star Wars that I feel necessary to dress up, even though there's oxygen bottles and you get to spend around time people, even though I'm introverted and don't want to spend time around people. It's not a bad idea for being around people, but just not my cup of tea. It's going in the ideas pile as a straight and neutral. Maybe if you strike Star Wars or whatever, it's good, but I can't take it. And then your last idea, go to a non-COVID time or place. Yeah, it would be great, but let's be honest, time travel ain't possible. But you could go to New Zealand, which really doesn't have anything. That's a good idea right there.
Let's go to New Zealand.
I mean, if you can figure out time travel or interdimensional travel, boom, done, great, 100% good idea. Otherwise, this is just crazy talk, and you're just weird. I don't even know what you're coming up with this shit. And that's my pilings.
Thank you, Alex.
You're welcome, Ajax.
let me break down your ideas. Idea number 1, putting on a musical. Yes, yes. Or yes, can we do this? I want to do this so bad. Good ideas pile. Especially good ideas pile if I don't have to edit it. But yeah, no, I love this idea. I think this is great. I think it would be a lot of fun. So yeah, good ideas. Putting on a musical, a virtual musical, I guess.
Virtual musical. I want to do The Greatest Showman right now because I'm obsessed with it.
See, that might be hard because there's a lot of, the one scene has a lot of drinking.
True, but that'd be really cool.
I could do all that drinking.
You don't have to really drink.
And then there's a lot of acrobatics. I can't sing that well though.
That's okay.
So number 2, telephone via can and strings. I'm going to agree with Alex and put this in the bad ideas because we have this thing called a cell phone.
Fine.
It's a lot easier. No germs can be transmitted. No squirrels will get killed.
No dead squirrels.
They won't be able to catch with.
Well, that brings me to your next idea. Catch. I'm going to kind of put this in the bad ideas too, not for the reasons that Alex did, but my concern is when I'm playing catch, be it with a football, with a baseball, softball, soccer ball, volleyball, I have a tendency to just touch my face. Like I'm not very aware when I do it. So if I'm playing frisbee and I have an itch and I'm going to itch my eye, I'm going to disease myself because I'm not self-aware. So me knowing that about myself, catch with me.
Fine. I got to find somebody to play catch with.
That doesn't disease themselves.
Yeah. Significant other, you can play catch. But then you live together. That would be safe. Geocaching. Caching or catching?
Caching. Because they're caches, like treasures. Like squirrels caches nuts.
Why you gotta bring nuts into this?
Because we already brought squirrels into it.
And we already brought balls into it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this in the good ideas pile. I think this is a wonderful idea. It's something you can do solo. It's something you can do with people. My only thing is I wouldn't uncover the treasure. I kind of would just want to find it and then not touch it for disease purposes. But still fun to like look for shit.
What if you, instead of touched it, you licked it?
Oh, that's totally different then. That's fine.
Yeah.
The mouth's the cleanest part of your body, so yeah.
If you put your eye on it, I touched it.
No, that's bad. Don't put your eye on it. Idea number 5, move to an island, aka Swiss Family Robins. I'm going to put this in the bad idea simply because it's not very doable for the average person. If I had a friend who was a billionaire who bought their own island and was like, hey, Kate, you want to come hang out on this island until this whole COVID thing blows over? Sure, I would love to do that. But, you know, I got bills to pay. I got to be able to work. And I can't see me doing that in a Swiss Family Robins type location. I don't have access to an island. So, bad idea.
Listeners, if you have an island in a Swiss Family Robinson house, I'm coming over. Crashing.
If you have a cult that has a Swiss Family Robin style bungalow,
Jared Leto, what are you doing?
Jared Leto, if you have room on your private island for another cult member, we have a contestant for you.
Yes, I'll try my hardest
to be the best follower
to be the best
ever.
cult member there is.
See, I'm always concerned with you. I feel like I have to put you on like a cult watch. Something will sound good and you'll be like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Like, why not? And it's like, it's a stranger who has candy in a panel van. And then you'll be like, but there's puppies.
I'm in.
It's how every cult starts.
It's not how every cult
Vans and puppies.
No, it's never, always with good intentions, but.
Yeah, with like vans and puppies. What isn't good about that?
Candy? Who doesn't like that?
Moving on. Idea number 6, dance party. Good ideas. I miss our dance parties. I would like to do dance parties again.
Okay, let's do a dance party.
I want to get rid of that no bathroom rule though, because I do all my best dancing in the shower. I'm just saying.
Then just dance in the shower.
I should just dance in the shower.
There was no bathroom rule.
There was a no bathroom rule. And then I broke it within seconds because I had to get something.
Did you create the bathroom rule?
No, I did not create the bathroom rule.
I think she did because she believes that rules are meant to be broken.
No, that was not a rule I even.
Was it my rule? Did I say no bathrooms?
No, it was our other compadre.
Huh. I missed that rule. We didn't write them down, so I would have broken it anyway.
Think you had any interest in going to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom to get my speaker, and that was like, I'm already breaking the rule.
It's okay.
Why were they forcing you not to go to the bathroom? That sounds like almost like they were torturing
misdemeanor.
you.
It's you don't want to see people pee.
Well, yeah, you don't bring them into the bathroom with you. But I'm just saying, like
that's the rule. You don't bring the phone in the bathroom with you.
Oh,
unless you want to get a shower shot.
Exactly.
I thought you meant you weren't allowed to go to the bathroom.
No,
it was almost like
have to
a marathon dance.
There's no bathroom breaks during a dance party. This is part of the cult rules of the dance party. This is when a fun thing becomes a cult-like thing. Like now
we add more rules to it.
Like, I'm lording over you, my power. You're not allowed to go to the bathroom during the dance party, says the cult leader. But yeah, no, dance party, good idea. Bathroom breaks, also a good idea. Just leave your phone in whatever dance room you're in.
Unless you want to break the rules and then take it in the bathroom with you.
Idea number 7, become more introverted. I'm going to put the ideas pile leaning towards bad. Because you can't just tell an extroverted person, be more introverted. That's like telling an introverted person, well, just be more extroverted. Just get out there. Just, party. Just be with people. As Alex was saying, being with people is energy draining and it takes a lot of energy. And sometimes you need to recharge yourself. It's kind of the opposite for extroverts. Being with other people is the thing that recharges them. And being alone is not necessarily something that helps move their day along. So if you can find a way to enjoy time by yourself as an extrovert, I don't think that's a bad thing. but it's not a switch you can turn on and off. You can't just be like, oh, I'm really introverted, and the next day be the belle of the ball. So ideas leaning towards bad.
Unless you can be the belle of the ball.
If you're able to do that, that's great, but I don't think a lot of people can do that.
'Cause
Okay,
they're gone.
idea number 8. Star Wars suit / mascots hang out. I'm gonna put this in the bad ideas. I don't think there's a real safe way of doing it. Even the replicas, I don't think they're airtight. And as someone who has mascotted before, it gets hot. It gets super uncomfortable after a while. So yeah, bad idea. And then your last idea, to go back into time, a time before COVID, or a time when there wasn't COVID. This is a bad idea. Just because the likelihood of disrupting the timeline and creating unintended consequences and just screwing up the whole world just because you went back in time just to hang out.
Wouldn't that be like my destiny, though, if I was to do that? So I was supposed to do that?
Well, you have the choice.
Yeah.
You have free will. So
And if I choose to go back or alternate
is there
dimension,
really a thing such as destiny?
maybe.
Maybe.
I feel like you should just make the appropriate choice not to go back.
It depends on the cult I'm a part of.
Somebody once said, if you have one foot in the past and one foot in the future, you're pissing on the present.
Who was it?
I heard it from a drag queen who was quoting it from someone else. I just feel like we should just face the adversity that's in front of us instead of running and hiding from the thing that we are dealing with currently. It makes us stronger.
I want to go back to the land before time.
No, you'll get squished by dinosaurs.
I'd rather go do like alternate dimensions like sliders.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be good. I miss Rembrandt.
Think of it this way. If you go back in time, then what happens with me and Alex? We no longer have you.
Oh, in this time zone, but like in the past time zone.
In this timeline, you just disappeared because you went back into the future.
Yeah.
So me and Alex are gonna have this podcast by ourselves, and it's just gonna be awful because
I
we
can
won't
come
agree
back
on anything. Well, no, because you can't come back once you've gone back.
Yes, you can.
No.
If I do it like, if I schedule it to be like a second, and you'd be like, I was never gone.
But you will be a different person. And we will have changed from the things that you have done. So we might not even be the same people that you once remembered.
True.
True that.
That leads to more excitement.
So you're basically risking all the connections that you have currently have and made, all the friends you have. You're risking all that just to avoid dealing with the coronavirus. Is it worth it?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to try it, see if it worked.
Now, see, if you try it and it doesn't work, then you're screwed.
Then I could just go back to the time before that time.
And do what?
Meet the dinosaurs.
Get squished by dino feet.
And then once again, the Ajax we had known and loved and started a podcast with will not be the same person when they come back.
I can come back as dead, and I can just be like transport into the double wide coffin that we're gonna get.
No, see, what? Why would I want a dead Ajax?
Because you're dead too, probably. I'll just get transported back into like the very far future when we're already dead.
So then you miss 40 some years of our friendship because you want to go back in time just to see shits and giggles.
I mean,
you got one life.
That's what you think.
Got to make the most of it. But anyway, you're going back in time. Idea. Let's go back in time to when we were talking about going back in time.
Oh my God.
Bad idea. Face reality with the rest of us. There's no going back.
Exactly.
The past had its problems. The future is going to have its problems. We can deal with what's in front of us.
Exactly.
And it's just one big soap opera.
It is one big soap opera. Yes. The shit that is happening in real life, if we made a soap opera out of it, people wouldn't believe. They'd be like, this is so far-fetched.
But they believe it because they're like, oh, it happened.
Give it like 5 years. 5,
If
6
we make
years.
it to 5 years.
Then it won't have happened?
No, give it like a decade and then write a soap opera about like this time span of the coronavirus. 2020 to 2021. People won't believe.
It'd be a good soap opera. I mean, it'd be
It
interesting.
would be interesting. And it'd be interesting to have an outside perspective of all the shit that has happened. We should probably thank our listeners.
Thank you, listeners.
Thank you, listeners. I like chicken fingers.
Thank you for listening, listeners. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes. We're now on Pandora, which also means we're on Sirius Radio. We have a Facebook page, as you know about. We also have a YouTube page that we have videos out weekly. If you have any ideas for any future ideas, you can contact us at ideasallday.podcast@gmail.com. We have an Instagram, which you can reach us at ideasallday.podcast. But yeah, thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you for everyone for listening. And we look forward to having you return next time.
Please return next time.
Please come back. We're missing you.
Oh my God, for the love of God, please. Please come back.
Like there's serious radio, and then what kind of radio are we? We're not serious. We're not so serious radio.
We're getting through the pandemic the best way we know how, radio. If you're an extrovert and you need to feel the company of others, you should listen to us. Listen to
We
our
can be your
podcast.
company.
We can be your friends. But yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.